Hello, welcome everybody. We are here again in our practitioner meeting. So today we have Louise Tang from Hong Kong, China. Welcome, Louise.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yes, I'm from Hong Kong. My name is Louise, and I first learned SLT in 2003, and then SPR 2004. And after I took the basic and advanced class, like back to back in 2 weeks, I practice on myself mainly because back then I've already in touch with some other healing modality. And then one day my friend said, hey, you know what? We found this systems called SLT, and all we need to do is just swing the pendulum and your problem will be solved. I said, what? Yeah, really? Is it for real or is that a spam or something? So no. There is an association, and we're going to invite a teacher here to Hong Kong, and then would you like to take the class? I said, sure, of course. Because back then I was using another system, and I consider myself as a very practical person, and I don't like discomfort. So back then I remember I need to put on some oils on my body, and somehow I got allergic to. Then I got impatient. So I think I've had enough of this skin rashes or quote and unquote a healing crisis. I don't buy that. And then this amazing, a friend said there was an amazing system called SRT, and I just swing the pendulum and then you can swing away your problem. I said, wait, that's great. Count me in. Then after taking the class, I didn't quite get the system. I told my students, hey, don't worry. After I took basic and advanced, I don't quite understand it. So take your time. There are a lot of things to learn. Say, okay. Then after a couple of years of practice on myself, and a very good friend of mine who started her own center, and then she asked me if I could be the interpreter of the class, because she's inviting a teacher from UK. So I said, yeah, sure, why not? Then I start being an interpreter in the class. Then I start knowing or learning, saying this is not only a spiritual system, not only swinging the pendulum and then swing away your problem. There are a lot of things to learn, and then we can work different part of my self or my system together, saying putting my emotion and understanding my emotion and mental, my thoughts, and where do they come from, and then to incorporate in my physical experience. And then in 2013, this friend invited another SRT teacher, also my mentor, Sherlyn Wright, and Lisa Koo as well, to Hong Kong. So I am so grateful that I could be their interpreter in the class. So I learned even more. Then they encouraged me, or kind of like teasing me. So why are you not applying for as a consultant? So,
they are amazing teachers.
Yet they are amazing teachers. So I'm so grateful that they're my mentors and my good friends too. Then they kind of tease me and encourage me, saying, go apply. I said, yeah, okay. Then I become a consultant in 2016 and become a certified teacher in 2019. So I can't believe it's been 3 years now. So yes, I'm a quite young teacher, but still I'm very grateful to have me in this meeting to to
We
talk
are
about.
so grateful. We are so grateful. We talked about this before, but it's important that the whole community of SRT practitioners and teachers unite. So this is
Yes.
one big step, and to have you is really precious.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much again.
And talking about SRT, I talk about a bit of my experience of practicing SRT or like working with SRT. I still remember way back when I first learned SRT, not long after. I'm this kind of person, say once I found something great, and I tell all my friends. So one of my friends who took SRT as well, say, hey, would you like to be my guinea pig? So I want to practice on. I said, sure, why not? Then he said, let's have dinner, then we can do some clearing. I said, sure. And he said, let's have dinner at a restaurant. I said, sure. And the name of the restaurant in Cantonese, it's called Min Po. Min Po, it means noodle and noodle shop. But also, if anyone knows a bit of Cantonese or Chinese, same sound can mean different things because there's a different word. Same pronunciation, same sound can mean different words, different meanings. So Min Po also means noodle shop and also means masks. So what kind of mask is this? Is not the mask we're wearing these days. It's the Chinese opera mask. So I was afraid of it. I would say that I have a phobia about this. And my friend, he thought that it's an interesting idea to bring me to that place. And I freaked out during the dinner because I couldn't eat at all, because the whole restaurant is full of different sorts of masks, even like the clown or the baby doll, and also, of course, the Chinese opera ones. So he found it very interesting. And then I had a tough dinner that night. And after a couple of weeks, he flew to US for a business trip. And then somehow he took Robert's review class. And then he told my story to Robert, saying, and then Robert had a clearing saying, oh, you know what? Your friend had a past life route being eaten by a tiger. So the face of the tiger reminds me, like the mask reminds me of the face of the tiger. So that's why I have this phobia. And also Robert said, maybe your friend would be allergic to cats too, which I did. So after the clearing, I find it very interesting because I don't afraid of the mask, and my allergy to cats disappeared. So this is really like the first time I feel that a spiritual healing system can heal something quite physical and emotional. And honestly, and even now, I'm still amazed by it. So after that, I find that when we talk about what kind of topic we want to have, then this story popped up in my head. Then I said, why don't we do this? Because a lot of my students even saying, you know what, I know this is only clearing the soul level thing, but I don't know, maybe I need to wait, or maybe I need to wait for the inspiration from spirit, or maybe I'm not spiritual enough to understand that. So I feel sad hearing this. That's why I want to talk about this topic tonight.
Yes, I think it's so important because it touches many aspects of our lives.
Yes. And yeah, that's why I do my best to cover as much as I can. But yeah, let's chat. But before that,
Great.
I believe I need to lead a meditation, yeah?
Yes. And
Let me,
by the way, we are in the year of the tiger, right? For the Chinese.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
2022.
And to start with a story about tiger. Okay, let me, where is the screen? Sorry, I have way too many things on my laptop. Okay, the meditation I'm going to do, it's called the Blue Vase. It's from another healing modality, which I like a lot, or imagery. It's by Dr. Catherine Schoenberg. So I got the permission that I can do this meditation. By the way, she's a very, the teacher, not Catherine herself, but the teacher is Catherine's student, and so happens she's an SRT consultant as well. So she granted me this permission that we can use this meditation tonight. Okay. Take a deep breath. Make sure you're in a place that won't be disturbed. Quiet enough so that you can relax. Sit in an armchair with your arms and legs uncrossed. Close your eyes. You don't need to change your breathing patterns. Just allow your body to come back to your own rhythm. Just allow your breathing to come back to your own rhythm. Once you've found your own rhythm, what is not in place turns to be in place. Breathe out all that disturbs you, all that tires you, all that obscures you. Breathe out as a light smoke that is easily absorbed by the plant life around you. When your breath comes in on an inhalation, see it as blue and filled with sunlight, like the radiant blue light from the sky. See the blue gold light filling your nostrils, your mouth, your throat, flowing down your back like a great river of light. See it filling your legs, your feet, and your toes. And stretching out of your toes as long antennas of light. See the light circulating up your legs to feel your pelvis. See the light rising up into your chest, feeling your breasts and radiating out of them. Seeing it flowing in and out of your heart until your heart becomes a glowing blue lamp. See the light flow down your arms like smaller rivers of light, feeling your hands and fingers, stretching out of your fingers as long antennae of light. As you continue to breathe in the blue light, see the light continue to fill you. See it begin to radiate out of the articulations of your joints, out of your ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, and wrists. See the light fill you until it radiates out of your skin in all directions. See yourself as a crystal vase filled with light. See yourself radiating light in all directions. Breathe out, open your eyes, and see this with open eyes for a few seconds. Welcome back. So this is actually an imagery exercise. The teacher told me, saying this is for releasing all the stress, to feel the connection with the souls and with the universe, with spirits, to feel that we are actually filled with everything, and releasing the stress as well, of course. Okay, I think I feel more secure putting my earpod. I want to make sure I can hear you and you can hear me well. Okay. So, okay. Tonight, the topic is about how to incorporate SRT into our daily lives. As we said before, quite a few of my students saying this is only a spiritual system, and it is only clearing our past lives, and it's only clearing the energies, and we have to wait for certain amount of time to see the results in the physical world, or even if we're not seeing any physical results, then that means that we're not spiritual enough, we're not concentrated enough, we're even not good enough. And my experience telling me that none of these are true. Okay, because we might know about, okay, let's talk about how we were created. Well, briefly, don't worry, briefly, because Robert says that he can write a book, and he actually did before he passed. He wrote a book about how we are created, about whole chapter 3. And as far as it is a very simple way to understand how we are actually created, because we are all spirit, and we all have the first 6 or 7 spiritual bodies. We all have etheric body, and etheric body is the mini me of spirit. So that means we all have spirit in us, in every single cells. In not only it's not only in our heart or in our presence. No, we are the aspects of spirit. We are the expansion of spirit. Then when we are doing SRT, we set the spiritual intention, saying spirit and I are one, we work as a team. It is not just a saying. It is the foundation of the whole work. So when we do that, when we're doing practical work, then I told my students saying, you know what, just say it like you mean it, instead of just a ritual, instead of just a meditation. No, it is a fact, at least to me. Okay, so how could we do the clearing in a not so spiritual way? Because when we're flipping charts and we ask similar questions, even when we're doing the past life program research, and we ask, okay, who is the cause and who else involved, who did harm, who was harmed. The way how I do is, before everything, right after we prep to work, and I ask myself, what is bothering me? What is my theme of my clearing? Instead of want to have more spiritual insights, and we can actually clear out everyday thing, the chores, or why do I not like cleaning the house? What's bothering me? Why do I feel sad about my colleague, or why do I feel sad about myself? Things like this, instead of just asking spiritual questions, because we are spiritual being anyway. So everything is spiritual. There is no such thing as more spiritual or more earthly, or more mundane, or less, or more ordinary. There is no such thing. We're all spiritual beings. So we can't be not spiritual, even like anyone. I joke, it might not be a good joke, but I told my students, say, you know what, maybe the taxi driver, the bus driver, the security guard, they are all spiritual beings too. Only we are expressing in different ways. So yes, all the rituals are good, but we have to understand this basic thing, that we are all spiritual beings. So of course, when we're doing spiritual work, it can help us in our daily lives, because we're living a spiritual life. And so second thing, apart from the prep to work, is understanding the spiritual healing principles. I don't know if there are a lot of teachers or other students reading them. My mentors are very good, and they all teach through the spiritual healing principles, and we even do clearings on them, saying how could we or what percent we are in alignment with the spiritual healing principles. There is an experience with myself saying in a class, in an ISC class, and it was a very special class because I was taking it with my students, and there was an incident in a small things in the class, saying, oh, there was a tall guy standing in front of me. Sounds better. Oh, okay. Let me take it off. Sorry. I hope you hear me better. Okay. There is a tall guy standing in front of me, but with a bit not so nice clearing work, because I could peek over saying, whose student is this? And then right after I asked the question, I saw the name on the research saying, okay, he's my student. So I felt very bad about it. Then I go back to my seat, and then the next exercise we need to do is to clear the spiritual healing principles. And the teacher said it, okay, you guys pair up, and the practitioner asked herself about which spiritual healing principle is the best for your client. Then I was assigned the third one, saying everything is, I want to let me flip it. Give me a second. The third one is yes. The soul is ultimately in charge of its own healing. Nothing happens that is not planned for or allowed by the soul. The divine being creates your own reality. We cannot be victims. So I was assigned with this spiritual healing principle. Then my practitioner was clearing for me. And I almost like understanding it immediately, because I was putting myself in a victim position, saying, oh, it's my fault, or oh, it's his fault, he didn't come to any of the SRT meeting, he didn't pay attention, or I didn't teach it good enough. So both of us are victims. Then suddenly I was like a physical rap in the head saying, no one is a victim. We are responsible for our own healing, also for our own learning. So immediately I feel relieved. The upsetting emotions were gone. And I felt the stress on my shoulder, my lower back were gone. So we are not only a physical being, we are a spiritual being having physical experience and learning how to be aware of our thoughts, be aware of our emotions. Also, there is another trick taught by a teacher saying, when we do clearing for ourselves, right after we prepped ourselves to work, we ask, how do I feel with this challenge? Or how do I feel when I see this person? I ask my clients to close their eyes, saying, just tell me what you see, even nothing. Nothing is something, or you feel nothing is an emotion too. So I ask them to take a mental note, and then if they couldn't really articulate or really tell, then I ask them in a scale of 10. 10 is the best feeling, 0 is the worst feeling. So how do they feel? It's easier for them to understand or to be aware of their feelings or their emotions. And right after the clearing, especially when we are talking about the 6 A's energies or the 6 B's blocks, or I would talk to them. I say, how do you feel when I say that in this past life you have this self-limitation energy? How do you feel about it? Then after I allow them to talk, or sometimes when I'm doing clearing for myself, and then I would talk about it, say, I feel limited in this way, or I would contemplate, I would think about, I would review my daily life, saying, is there any occasion or any circumstances I feel limited? Instead of just clear it right away, because this is a healing system, and this is a healing session. Even for myself, I do it, like, of course I spend time, but I'm not talking about spending 2 hours, 3 hours. No, don't do that, because we'll get tired. Client would get tired. So I would ask them questions like this. For example, even to the spiritual level chart, saying, my student was cracking this joke, saying, when they point to when they point to chart 23, so is lying, do I just, hey, you're lying? I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But of course, we can say, okay, I come to this item saying the soul is lying. It means there is something that we don't want to look at. Not only the spiritual things, but in everyday life, saying when we don't like something, that there is a reason. So I would relate similar things to I ask the client and I let them to talk. Say, what do you think that it is referring to? Or if you are consulting a friend or you are talking to a friend, you found out as if you are your own friend, what do you tell? Something like this. Like even charts 26, that's why understanding the system is important. Saying chart 26 is a high level chart. What is mentioned on the chart is there is no separation, the veil is broken, but make good use of the material we have, like the books, the dictionary. There are information in there. So that's why we can relate items like this into daily life, saying, oh, you know what? For example, sometimes it really sounds cliche, but don't afraid saying it. For example, like I tell this story about myself, saying my manager in the past, they used to joke around saying, you know what, because I know, what do you say? Because because I'm a pervert, that's why I can spot the perverts. I said, what? I said, yes, because I know how they see things. I know how those perverts are looking at your breast. That's why I can spot it out and protect yourself. I said, what? Okay. Because I didn't think about it. That's why I couldn't understand. But when I have the same thing in my system, then I can see it in the outer world. Just like if I'm speaking Cantonese now, I bet none of you can understand because there is no Cantonese in your conscious mind, in your system. But when I'm speaking in English now, and you have this English, so maybe my English is not perfect, but at least you can understand some of it. Okay. So that means when we are clearing some other people, when we're not even clearing, when we spot other people's flaws, that means we have that. That's why we understand. Then I found that this trick works quite well for me. Like when I look at things, what upsets me, instead of clearing the other person, I clear myself. Like not the usual way saying, why do I have this perspective of seeing this person? No, not that. For example, like I don't like this woman because I think she is ugly. I think she's rude. Then I clear myself saying, I am ugly. I'm the ugly one. I'm the rude one. I clear myself. This is my thing because this is my perspective. In English, we said we have a problem with that. So who has the problem? Myself. So that's why I clear. And then, no jokes, it happened in one of the class. I don't like two students. One of them, students dozed off in class is very like common, but he didn't dozed off like this. No, he fell asleep like this. I was like, what kind of, why? I felt hurt then and angry too. Then when I gave them some work to do, some clearing, then I clear myself, say, okay, how do I judge him? Rude, nonsense, barbaric, what, all sorts of bad words, okay? Then I clear myself, okay, I am rude, I am barbaric, I'm nonsense, that sort of stuff. After half hours of clearing, I saw a different guy in front of me, a different person. He asked sensible questions. He's fully awake. He even looked taller. So this is how we see ourselves. We do clearing for ourselves instead of wishing that there is high self to help. No, high self is always here. The problem is, are we really addressing the help, or are we really acknowledging the clearing, or we just want to get rid of the problem as fast as we can? To clear, a clearing is not only a spiritual thing. It's a self-realization. It's a self-understanding process. So how it is simple, but sometimes it needs some courage. Maybe some challenge is easier, then we need this amount of courage. But when maybe the challenge is huge, we need a lot of courage. Then the courage doesn't mean that we don't fear. It means we feel the fear, and we feel the anger, and we acknowledge the anger. Emotions are good because it makes us aware. Sometimes I swear, not in front of students and not in front of clients, of course. I swear when I'm doing clearing for myself, because I feel the emotion was so intense and I allow it. Or why is this happening? Then I clear for myself. Then I don't clear the emotions. I allow it. I clear the reason makes me angry. And this is some self-realization happening. And I found out maybe I complain about my husband all the time, but I not clear my husband. I clear, why do I feel annoyed? Why do I feel disrespect? And who is actually disrespecting myself? And come to the point that always find that it's me at the first place. I allow things happening in this way. And I fought back in the same manner I complained about. I yelled at him in a very rude manner, saying, how could you be so rude to me? So this is, and it's another smack on the face, right? Saying, Spirit says, high self said, hey, you know what? You're actually doing the same thing. Then why don't you just clear yourself instead of complaining? And when I change, my perspective change, then the way I see the world would change. Like here, I know the whole world is in a very challenging time. The pandemic, the economy, the politics, the economy, everything. But when we really take some time to look at, it's just because we're seeing things in very different perspective. And we cannot find the ground yet. Imagine if we look at things in this way, say we literally mind our own business, then we will treat everyone the same way as we treat ourselves. It is human nature. It is not something in the Bible. We love ourselves. We love others in the way that how we love ourselves. Because we cannot do anything that we don't have or we don't know. The only way we know how to love our children is the way we were loved by our parents. So if we want to treat wounds like this, then we have to be responsible for our own emotions and for our own happenings. That's why understanding the spiritual healing principles is it's fundamental. Taking the responsibility of our happenings, be responsible in our life, to our lives, are fundamental. So when we do clearings like this, saying how could we do, like in the pandemic, how could we clear the whole world from starting to clear ourselves? How could I position myself, or what do I see my life is? What do I see the pandemic? Then I clear myself. Would I get angry with the politics situation? Yes, of course. And there is nothing wrong with that, because we're human being. We're a spiritual being having human experience, and being at peace with our emotions are crucial. Instead of just put up a very angelic face saying, everything is nice, everyone is nice, love and light. No, it didn't happen this way. Yes, we all love that. We all love that, but we don't need to act like that, because we are a spiritual being anyway. Even when we swear, spirit create that word. Yes. Is that song master or key master? I forgot. I need to talk about it tonight in Hong Kong. Spirit creates the languages. Then what's not spiritual about? So we acknowledge that feeling, we acknowledge that anger, we acknowledge those 6 A's energies. They're energies, they're potentials. We understand that so that we don't need to experience it in everyday life. How to understand it? Be aware of that. When we're doing clearing, just be aware, like self-punishment, then stop a second. How do I punish myself? Or have I ever, of course we have I ever punished myself for doing different things? For example, when I remember when I was 6 years old, I stole a candy bar from the fridge because my mom said that I couldn't. So I see myself stealing it. I finished the whole thing. Then stop punishing myself for that. Then, because it is true, from a clearing, I have this image saying I sneak open the refrigerator and then I sneak out a candy bar and I finish the whole thing. And from now on, I don't let myself enjoy any candy bar I like. I feel guilty because my mom scolded me back then, saying, how could you be so selfish? Then after the clearing, I realized, wow, it was 6 years old. I was 6 years old. And from now on, I need to be nice. I need to share, even I don't want to. And I feel guilty if I have the whole candy bar for myself. Then after I clear that, I made my mind that no, I would stop doing it to myself. I want a candy bar. I don't want to share, and I'm okay with it. Stop blaming myself for that. Because when I stop blaming myself, the world would stop blaming me. Because I don't have it in my system. Everything is spiritual. everything is connected. We can't be only a physical body. We can't be only having physical experience. Every experience is spiritual. There is always a spiritual root. So we can use our charts, even it comes up at like chart 25, chart 28. There are physical meanings too. We can always relate to it. We can always see that we made vows. I said, the way we made vows, we don't need to always like put up a hand and one hand on the Bible. Wait, no, we don't need to do that. All we need to do is just say, I will never do such thing again. Then a vow. Or I must do something. Then there is a vow, and it triggers past life vows. Why it's important that we speak that revoking statements, because it's telling our conscious mind. It's telling our conscious mind, we have made this decision. Now I revoke it. I remember in one of the ISC class, the teacher was Lisa Koo. She said the word revoke it's a very strong word. And we are telling ourselves that to revoke every vow we've made in the past life. And then now we can live a new life. We can live a free life without those limitations. So that's why all the clearings we can apply in daily life. Say, how do I feel with this colleague? I don't like him, he's ugly. I don't like him, he's mean. Then internalize it, knowing that we have this perspective. Knowing that we put on aspects like mean and ugly. So we see everyone is mean and ugly. Then when we are doing clearing, then we can just take it off and allow ourselves to see that person in our own eyes, instead of having the specs. But I needed it for now. Okay. So
shall we do a little clearing maybe for the group?
Yes. A little group clearing for tonight. I say, how could we see our lives? How could we see that we're all connected? How could we see ourselves as a spiritual being? Okay, what percent we're in alignment with this, seeing ourselves as a spiritual being? What percent is in alignment? Nice, 30%. Let's do some clearing. Okay, in a group, I'm talking about in a group. I've prepped everyone to work before, and then I'm going to check the prep again, the prep to work again. Okay, so our ego is in 2. Our high self, the lowest level of consciousness, radiant love and above. Just so everyone is has completed an advanced class, yeah? Or no? Should be, yes? Okay. So the lowest level of consciousness of anyone in the class is, okay. Some clearing. Where are we now? Lowest level of consciousness is, okay, good. Back there. Okay, what do we need to understand? What do you need to clear? Simple question, what do you need to clear? 6A. Hate of self, unworthiness, at which, usually I would ask at which level? At this universal God consciousness level, Okay, can we clear without research? No, it is a program established as at death, root cause, past lives in other dimension. We were a group of light. Interesting. In which office? It is the most interesting clearing I've ever done. We didn't serve in any office. So that means that we go back to the very moment when we were created as a light, before we are even a soul, before we're even a spiritual being, we are a light. Then we don't have any harm, just we hold on to some energy of hate of self, unworthiness, conflict. That's it. Then it means that we have the misunderstanding of, oh, there must be me. It must be, I was unworthy to be one with spirit. That's why now I see this separation. Now I see that this is me and this is spirit. But no, we are just like the rays of sun. The rays of the sun, it's not separated from the sun. The droplets in the ocean, from the ocean, is not separated from the ocean itself. We're still water. In the nature, it's still the same. We're all connected. It's just we are expressing ourselves in different ways. Okay, is that enough to clear the life? Yes. Is that enough to clear the program? Yes. High self, please clear. We can't be separated. Okay, and what else? Blocks to 6B. Worthiness. What percent we see our worth? Oh, okay, 70%. Any blocks? Yes. Can we just clear it first? Yes. Hazel, please clear. Okay. What do we do in order to be able to see our worth? Chart 19. Yes, chart 19 is a good friend. Chart 19, we do clearing statements. As a group, individual. As a group. Okay, great. Give me a sec. Okay. I now, okay, I can type it out in the chat. I can type it out in the chat, and then I do it for yourself, for all of us first. The 6A energies are, unworthiness. 6B energies is, okay. I release all belief, perception, and judgment that I am unworthy. I release all needs and desire to believe that I am unworthy. I now completely accept and believe and instruct my subconscious to accept and believe on every level of my being that I am worthy of being a spiritual being. I am worthy of being spirit. Okay, what percent we're holding on to the energies? What percent we're holding on to the 6A energies? 0. Good. What percent's been cleared? 100%. That's great. Okay. What else we need to do? So the energy for the first two statements are 6A unworthiness, And the 6B energy for the third statement is worthiness. So it's easy. So what do we need to do now? Setting goals. Setting goals about what? Setting goals about love of self. In what way? In a way of health, worthiness. Okay, so how many acts per day? Yes, I give homework. 3 acts every day of promoting your health, even physical, emotional, mental health, spiritual health. Okay, some action. Do 3 acts that you can see that you are doing it for yourselves, and you can see your worth, or do something that you're good at. You know, the worth is how we see ourselves good at, like how we see, oh yes, this is my worth because I'm good at for instance, I'm good at reading tarot cards. So somehow we would relate our worth into what we can do. Okay. So do 3 acts that you can feel your worth, and 3 acts of promoting your own health. So this is the homework. How long you need to do? Days, weeks, months, years. Okay, I guess this is something that we can do from now on. Yeah, no harm. For like, let's say for 1 year. For 1 year, I don't want to give pressures, but when you remember it, you do it. And before you do it, or when you are doing it, you tell yourself, I am doing it for myself. I am doing it because I'm worth it. I am good to myself because I'm worth it. I am worthy. Okay. There isn't anyone would say, it would tell you, you are worthy, except for yourself. Okay. We tell people that, hey, he's not worthy. We always say that, but try saying it, you are worthy of all the goodies in the whole universe. You are worthy of every smiles. You are worthy of all the health. So remember this. Okay, is there anything else we need to do? Okay, anything else we need to learn, acknowledge, understand? Okay, what percent we are in alignment of our theme, saying, seeing we are a spiritual being having physical experience? We are 100%. Okay. I talked to a client / friend last night, as in your morning, say, why don't we just keep ourselves cleared instead of keep saying the old things, reminding us that we were challenged? Just when they are cleared, let it be cleared. Yes, another layer may come up, but be aware. What's my reaction? Do I react in different ways, or do I react in the same way? If it is the same, then we go back to the charts, saying, what makes me making the same decision? Be responsible for our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Okay, so anything else we need to be reminded? 6B. Trust. Trust ourselves. Trust that we are spiritual beings. Trust our high selves. Trust spirit. The most important is trusting ourselves. Yeah. Sorry, a bit overrun. Okay. Okay, I think that's it.
Great. Is there any question of our audience tonight?
Any questions?
Yes. Hi. I just
Go
wanted to
ahead.
know for the homework, the 3 actions per day that promote health, is it just health in general, or is like physical health or mental health, emotional health, or just anything, whatever we can find?
Anything you can find, anything you
Okay.
feel healthy. Just
Okay.
like for me, my act is to practicing boxing with a spiritual awareness. So this is my practice. When I feel defeated, then, okay, what makes me feel defeated? Then what is the fear? Why do I miss this punch? I do that. Of course, not at the moment, but I do that afterwards. This is my practice, practicing my spiritual, this is my spiritual practice through practicing boxing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any way it works for you. Any more questions?
Someone else? Well, just thank you very much, Louise. I think it's been very, very enlightening.
Thank you.
Very clear, and I think deep and profound at the same time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you everyone for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for your time too. I know it's very early there in Hong Kong.
It's 8 a.m.
8 a.m. already. Okay.
8 a.m. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Yes, so helpful, as Katie says.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good evening, everyone.
Have a good day. Yes, have a good evening. Yes.
Yes, and a good day. Thank you, Louise.
You're welcome. Okay, see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.